Well, yesterday was a pretty warm one outside, and we're going to continue to see some of the warmth into today, but we're also going to have some cooler temperatures if you're by Lake Superior. So some of us are going to get a little bit of relief from the heat. But as we get into Friday, 4th of July, it is going to be a hot, muggy one as well outside. And as we get not just late into Friday, but going into the weekend as well, you're going to also see some storms. But as we go later into the weekend, into the beginning of next week, we're finally going to overall, all of us, see some relief from the heat as cooler weather starts to make its way in. And as I mentioned today, another warm one. You can see as you go more inland away from Lake Superior, getting into the 80s for a lot of us, possibly pushing on 90 degrees in some spots. But look at here, right by Lake Superior, staying in the 60s and 70s. And that's because we're going to have that lake breeze really bringing some of the cooler air that's sitting over Lake Superior onto the shore. And it's going to be a sunny one as well, so it's going to be pretty pleasant outside. You do see there's a good amount of clouds. Probably won't be as much shown here, but a decent amount of clouds will make their way in, maybe a stray shower, but we should still get plenty of sunshine, especially early on in the day. But as we start to go into Friday, as I mentioned, is really going to heat up. I mean, we're going to be talking getting into the 90s for a good number of us, so we're all going to be feeling that heat. And that makes us probably around 15 degrees above the seasonal average. And we're in July, so that means, yes, very much hot outside, especially because I even showed you the humidity. I mean, we're going to see the dew points into the 70s, and this is why the heat index is probably going to push close to 100 degrees, and why we had all these heat advisories in place for almost all the Northland outside the North Shore and the UP. And I believe the UP might see some heat advisories coming in as we go closer to Friday. So we just need to be ready for that heat as we enjoy our 4th of July. Definitely stay hydrated and know the signs of heat-related illnesses so you know how to stay cool and to be safe as you enjoy our Independence Day. Now I was looking here at the national view because we noticed these systems are coming in. This is what's going to be bringing in the heat, but it's also going to be bringing in that rain as well. And if we get a closer look here, we're going to start seeing some of the storms in northwest Wisconsin and the UP as we get into the overnight hours early tomorrow morning, making their way to the east. And then we're going to have a bit of clearing in the afternoon before another round is going to make its way in as we get late Friday going into early Saturday. And we're going to continue to see some stormy action going into our Saturday overall. So we're going to see a good amount of rain and storms making their way through. Any storms we do see do have a chance of being severe. We have a marginal risk right now for both Friday and Saturday. So there's a potential of some damaging winds with these storms. And we're going to see a decent amount of rain. Not a huge excessive amount, but probably a few inches will be possible. And with some of them coming in a short time with some downpours, maybe some flash flooding here and there is on the table. So we just want to be on the lookout for that. And finally, we're going to go into later into the weekend because things are going to finally start to cool down. Saturday, we're going to probably be around seasonal, as well as Sunday, and maybe even a little bit cooler some spots, especially as you get into northern Minnesota. So we're going to get some relief from the heat, and it's going to stay dry overall once we get to Sunday and Monday, but we do start to see those rain chances especially start to ramp back up as we get towards Tuesday. So looking at our 7-day forecast, we still got to deal with that heat going forward, especially around our 4th of July. Then we're going to have some storms, so be ready for that before we finally get some relief from the heat as we get later into the weekend.